Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined by Mick Too Slick Conlan.
Yeah.
Slick, how's things?
Oh, good, mate. You're liking that one, aren't you?
You are.
You're liking that Too Slick, so I'll let you keep it. It's alright. It's my original nickname as I was a kid, so I'll let you keep it.
You know what? I heard it. You must have posted this podcast thing, and they were on about nicknames, and I heard it, and I thought, with all the shit you give out, that is a fucker, innit?
Yeah, you're a bastard. Yeah.
Why you not kept it?
So I was a kid. It didn't fit.
Pretty childish now, mate.
Yeah.
No?
Look at this. Childish with his fucking lights breaking on and off, on and off.
Yeah. Look, we're here to support Harlem Eubank tonight. Tough fight against Tom Farrell. Tom's up for it. He's bringing a lot of support up here tonight. You work with Harlem daily. How sort of pleased have you been with his progression as a fighter? And he's really sort of stepped out of that Eubank name where he's been associated with Chris and Senior. Talk to me about Harlem.
Yeah, listen, he's one of the nicest guys I've met in the ring. A great human being, but also a very dedicated athlete. Someone who's put an awful lot of work in. No fights, he's still in the gym. You know, he's that type of guy. He loves training, loves learning, and his development and progression over the last 2-3 years has been fantastic.
He looks like he's sort of coming into his own. He had the fight last time where he was hit twice after the bell, and a lot of fighters, when they get that sort of controversy, they can look for a way out. He didn't. He carried on, managed to get to the end of the fight. Is that sort of that seasoning you need going through the ranks, a bit of adversity to try and prepare you for when you get to world level, when it does get difficult?
Yeah, I think so. Harlem didn't have a massive amateur career, so these are all things he's learned along the way. And it's the pro game, and these kind of things happen in the pro game. So it was a valuable lesson, something that you don't want to happen, but if it happens, fantastic. And as long as you come out of it on the right side, and he did, and I think it'll stand him very well going into this fight.
What do you expect tonight? This interview will probably go out tomorrow because signal, internet and everything around here is absolutely dire. But what do you expect to happen tonight? Tom Farrell, game as they come. He's been in there with some experienced boys as well. Maybe not come out on the right side of the victory, but yeah, what do you expect tonight?
Listen, Tom's a good boxer. He switches an awful lot. Fights from the southpaw style an awful lot, even though he's natural orthodox. He can be tricky and he can cause problems to Harlem, who he definitely has more experience than. But I expect Harlem to shine tonight and win by knockout. And around the middle rounds, I think Harlem will do him. I think his speed, his power, and his precision will all kind of show out. And I think Tom Farrell will be the perfect opponent for that to happen to. Lovely guy, but I hope my guy wins.
You see Harlem obviously daily, so it's hard not to be biased. But do you see certain qualities in him where you think, you carry on with the trajectory that you're going on, you could make world level? Yeah,
definitely. Listen, the guy's work ethic alone makes me think he can achieve anything he puts his mind to. He works very, very hard in the gym all the time, and is always trying to learn. He's not just one fighter who thinks he knows everything or learns something and thinks that's the answer. He's wanting to go. He's saying he wants to go over to America, spar these top guys all there. He just wants to by himself. Yeah. Doesn't need anybody. Just wants to go and learn. So, I should take that. We'll stand him.
What was it H described him as? Earth. What is that about? Everyone was giving him so many accolades. It's like Earth.
I think he's plant-based. He's vegan. He's about the world and all this here. And Earth was actually very fitting for him, I thought.
Now look, we're only a couple of weeks away from your fight in Belfast, so we'll have a further catch up about that then. But talk to me how you're feeling physically, mentally, look in shape. How are you feeling? Yeah,
I'm feeling good. Weight's bang on. Training has been fantastic. Finished my last big spars this week. Last high rounds. So now we're starting to taper off next week, and we're almost there. And I'm in great shape physically, mentally. I'm peaking at the right time.
You're going against a guy, Guerfi, who was, I would say, dominating, but he was doing excellent against Jordan Gill. Obviously, we know Jordan's just been beat by Kiko, but Guerfi's been at that sort of European fringe world level for a long time. He's been around the block. He's nothing to lose against you with everything to gain when you've got these big fights on the horizon, likes of a Wood rematch, but a world title fight. How you've got to be really switched on for this because he's dangerous, isn't he, coming into this?
Definitely. Listen, he's a banana skin for everyone. There's been fights where he's been in his underdog and pulled off the upset. There's fights where he's almost pulled off the upset against Jordan Gill, and then he got upset then after being on top. He's a kind of guy who has a bit of pop, a great punch at times. But as someone who I'm not underestimating, not taking my eye off, and I got to go in and perform. And if you don't perform on nights like that, that's when you slip up and that's when you lose.
We mentioned after the last fight against Mariaga, who's a puncher in his own right, you didn't have I won't call it a moment, but there was a moment near the end of the fight where he caught you good, and you sort of came through that, and we talked about that was sort of you sort of faced your demons and come out the other side. Is all that everything that's gone out just completely gone now, and you're like, look, we're back on the winning roll, we're going? Yeah,
completely. I was not a thought about any of that in my head. Now I answered a lot of questions to myself. Yeah. Which was the most important. I didn't care what anybody else was thinking. It was to myself, and the fact that I answered him and came through it and looked, so made that fight look so easy when it really wasn't. I was really happy. So I'm just looking forward to getting in there now and putting on more performances and getting back towards that world title.
It shaped into a good card. We see some of the familiar faces on there, like Sir Paddy Donovan. I know you've done an interview with Colm where you've sort of said who you're looking forward to seeing. But as Conlan Boxing, as you look sort of to the future, how happy are you with the stable and the shows you're putting on? Because there's some good homegrown quality fighters.
Yeah, some homegrown fighters, some kids I grew up with, and then obviously our prospects coming through. So I'm really excited to see how they get on. And it's always great to be at top of the card, but to be putting this on for the rest of the guys at home is always special. These are people who some are like family to me. Some who I've known all my life, and the fact that I'm giving them the opportunity to fight in this as a promoter and as a fighter, it's great. Like, it really is. It's warming.
Is this the kind of thing that I won't say looking forward to after boxing, but you're going to be able to leave your legacy not just as an in-ring fighter, but someone who's given opportunities? Is that, you mentioned it's warming, but does that sort of give you a bit of motivation and give you that sort of hunger to stay in boxing when you see the work you're doing?
Yeah, I don't really know at the minute. I'm still fighting, so I can't really think that way. But I know after when I do finally call it a day, whenever that may be, this will kind of be where I'll start to bridge into. But yeah, it's not something I think about often.
I spoke to someone else in your division the other day, IBF World Champion Josh Warrington. He's talked about big fights, wants to fight in America. It's like a bucket list for him. We mentioned other names, mentioned your name. He didn't sort of revisit it, but I was saying, look, that fight in terms of fan bases alone, Belfast and Leigh, you'll both go to each other's, home. Don't want to look past Guerfi because it's pointless. You've got too much at stake. But in the future, down the line, Warrington, Ellen Road, Belfast, something you consider?
New York.
You do that? Well, that'd tick a box for him as well, wouldn't it, Josh?
Texas USA box off. If he comes through Lopez, I would love to. New York would be fantastic. I have an awful lot of respect for Josh. I think he's a great fighter. And a fight between me and him in New York would be special. I bring an awful lot of fans, he brings an awful lot of fans, and we could do MSG. Is
that possible then, the MSG? You think that's it?
I don't see why it wouldn't be possible. So yeah, definitely MSG is where I think is the most fair ground for both of us.
What do you think's more likely? Because everyone's talking about the fight of the year, which was you and Leigh Wood, which one of the best fights I've seen live, if not the best. Is a Warrington fight easy to make in your eyes? Because you've offered Leigh the fight, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it's not up to me at the end of the day. He's in command, really. He controls who he fights. Albeit Lara was meant to be who was meant to fight, but pulled out of that one for unknown reasons. But yeah, whoever he fights, he fights. If he fights me, fantastic. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But if the Warrington fight could be made, I would love it. I know I'm ranked high enough, I think, in the IBF. I'm in the rankings anyway, so it's a possibility. Something that I would love to have, something I would love to do. It'd be a great fight.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, I won't keep you too long, much longer. Some fights going on right now. Thanks for talking to Boxing Social. We'll catch up in Belfast because you've dragged me off another show. You cancelled the Jake Paul trip for me. You frigged up Leeds, and now I'm in Belfast.
Mate, it was by your command. You know what I mean?
Right, look, we'll catch up again. Cheers, bud.
Yes, bud.